Oh, you guys know what time it is. It is Monday. Welcome into a live recording of our stadium show, the Coach and Bro Show, the fastest growing pro wrestling show in America. And it's not close. Now, before we start doing the show, I got to bring my partner, my good buddy, and sometimes my nemesis from russosbrand.com. Ladies and gentlemen, there's only one, Mr. Vince Russo. Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Coach, I had to set a lot of my followers straight after our last show.
Oh, my goodness. What happened?
Because a lot of our followers were saying to me, Vince, Coach big timed you with the room service. He was big timing you, Vince. And I said, let me explain something to you. There's a difference between big timing somebody and somebody being big time. Coach is big time. So I didn't get big timed. Coach is big time. I just wanted to set the record straight, Coach.
Well, I'm glad that you did. And today I actually brought in as you can see, the big man behind me. God is in the house.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
A very special background because I am at the home of Mama and Papa Coach today.
Yes.
So if my mom walks in with lunch in the middle of the show, hey, there's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing I can do about it.
Is it going to be Campbell's chicken soup? Why do I have a feeling it's going to be Campbell's chicken soup, Coach?
She asked me earlier, she goes, so son, how many shows do you have to do today? What time should we have lunch today? Oh my God. They've been married 57 years.
Unbelievable.
57 years.
Unbelievable.
They're getting ready to move, so we've been packing up. I've been going through like all my college stuff, all the memories. It's been an incredible weekend, but just getting cold too, so I had to bring in some special powers today. And my dad, he was a minister for 45 years.
Yes.
So, all right, real quick before we start our stadium show, Vince, on the Monday show, we love people to weigh in. We love to have small, medium, and super stickers, but tell the good people how they can be involved.
Yeah, guys, through, like Coach said, super stickers or donations, we will bring your question or comment right up on the screen and make you a part of this conversation. And we love to hear the opinions of everybody in the room.
There's no doubt about it. I'm getting so many DMs, Vince, about, man, where's that stadium show? When's stadium? Where's stadium? They understand we're available now in over 100 million homes. But this is the live recording every single week. It's amazing how fast we're growing.
It really is, Coach. And again, I want to, I would give you the bow down if you were here because listen, Coach is connected. That's why I said he's big time. I'm just riding the coattails. That's all I'm doing, Coach.
I'm just a point guard. I'm just setting. I'm letting you knock it down. All right, we've got a lot to get to. We have a lot of time to fill. So let's not waste any more time. Producer man, let's get this thing started. Let's go. When that music starts, that means only one thing, that we get to talk pro wrestling for the next 60 minutes right here on the Stadium Network and everywhere that Stadium is. Amazon Prime Video, DirecTV, YouTube TV, LG Vizio, the list goes on and on. See how excited I get? Now, over the course of the next 60 minutes, we're talking Fanatics Fest, we're talking John Cena, we're talking Saudi Arabia, but I'm not talking by myself. Let's bring in my partner. My man, the greatest writer in the history of pro wrestling from russosbrand.com, the great Vince Russo. Hello, sir.
How are you doing this morning, Coach? And I am excited because I always tell this to people because they don't understand. People know that I'm not a big fan of today's product.
Correct.
But I also tell them, you have no idea how much easier it would be if the product was up to par. Our job would be easy if we really had something to talk about. And Coach, I have to say, Friday Night SmackDown, we had something to talk about. And I went as far as to say the best piece of business in a wrestling ring that I've seen in the last decade.
Well, let's start right there. And by the way, I did see a lot of other shows that I respect, and they feel the same way that you do. They're like, I'm doing this to make a living, and it feels like work right now. So I respect where you're coming from, and I feel the exact same way. But Vince, when you have something on a wrestling show like what we saw on Friday night, and if people didn't see it, I'm sure you've heard about it. I'm sure you've seen the clips. We can't run it because WWE, they have their eyes on us. They're like, you can't run our stuff, but that's okay. John Cena flipped the pipe bomb promo from 2011 CM Punk. They basically reversed it. And instead of going up to the top of the ramp, he sat in the corner while CM Punk was through the middle of a table and sat there, and he was the ire of John Cena. I'm going to give it to you, Vince, because it was an amazing 15 or 20 minutes. It was universally, critically acclaimed. I want to know from your elite wrestling writing mind why you loved it so much.
Well, Coach, there are two very important things that I want to tell you about this. Very important things. One of them everybody's talking about. The other thing nobody's talking about, which I'd like to point out. Here's the number one, and I'm looking at this from a writing perspective. Number one, we saw two totally different shows. We saw 2 hours and 45 minutes of fake, non-believable, nonsense, mamby-pamby wrestling. Then we saw 15 minutes of a dose, just a shred of reality. And you saw the difference. You saw same old fake wrestling, and then you saw compelling television. And that is what I preach all the time. Bring reality into this. Give us the backdrop of some reality. You can work the reality, but you see a difference of night and day, Coach, between wrestling and a little touch of reality. But Coach, here's the second thing. Are you ready for this? Here's what nobody's talking about.
Okay, give it to me.
Coach, I say this all the time as a writer. You've got to protect your talent all the time, 100% of the time. You protect your baby faces, you protect your heel. In my opinion, CM Punk totally buried and not protected. And Coach, I will tell you why.
Why?
Coach, we have been seeing now for years and years and years on WWE programming all these high spots and everybody getting up. You can get super kicked in the head 15 times and you're going to get up. You can go through an announce table and you're going to get up. You can get dropped on your head in a pile driver and you're going to get up. No selling. We always talk about that. Coach, we saw Jey Uso a week ago. Taped ribs, 2 splashes, no selling. So what happens then is CM Punk goes through a table. We've seen a million guys go through tables and get up. But CM Punk goes through a table and he's dead for 20 minutes.
20 minutes, yes.
That buries CM Punk. And that's a way they've trained their audience. Like somebody going through a table is nothing. It happens every single week. So now all of a sudden, Punk isn't getting up from going through a table for 20 minutes. I'm sorry, as the viewer, he now looks weak to me because of the way you've programmed us for the last 5 years.
So what would you have done differently so you could still get the promo from Cena with CM Punk in the ring?
Coach, I say this all the time, man. We got to improvise. Okay. We got to improvise. And if Punk is laying there feeling like he's getting buried, Punk's got to get up and Punk's got to get in Cena's face, and Bruce has to be sitting in the gorilla position knowing he has to send the locker room out. Mm-hmm. Trust me, Punk is enough of a pro to know he was lying there too long, and you cannot allow that to happen, Coach.
He also had the eyes closed as it even in the worst street fight ever. Nobody's going to be knocked out he was knocked out.
Yes.
And maybe to the average fan, but the hardcore fan understands everything, and it's programming the audience, as you like to say, that if this happens elsewhere, then one of your top stars can't have it happen to him.
Absolutely. And coach, this is not a burial. I'm trying to protect CM Punk. I'm saying if I was writing this, there is no way I could have allowed a talent like that to literally be buried. And I have to tell you, coach, I think there's only one way out of this, because I think a lot of damage was done. We heard the response for Cena when this was all said and done. I think the only way out of this is I think CM Punk's got to turn heel during that match.
Wow.
I think we got to do a Bret Hart, Stone Cold Steve Austin. I think we've got to flip that.
Boy, I don't think they're thinking like that right now. I really don't. And we're going to talk in about 10 minutes on whether or not that match is even going to take place, because it's supposed to take place in Saudi Arabia. And that's a whole nother topic we'll get to in about 10 minutes. So let's focus for a second just on the promo itself and why the way Cena delivered it. And he just, and I saw a really cool, I don't know what website it was on, but basically they put Punk's in italics and then Cena's in regular print. And all they did was kind of flip a few of the words to make it make sense for Cena. But it was almost a carbon copy of what CM Punk did 14 years ago. And then bringing in some of the indie guys like Nemeth and Matt Cardona. And those guys then allowed those guys at their indie shows to then do something for John Cena. So it brought the whole industry into it for a couple of days.
Yeah, coach, I'm wondering this. I really, really am, because, again, let's face it. Punk had to know this was coming, and they had to both agree to this. Mm-hmm. Coach, I got sued for something like this, because at Bash at the Beach, my exact what I told Hulk before we went out there is, here's exactly what I said. I'm going to cut a scathing promo on you. Okay. Because, coach, you probably work like me. Coach, I didn't write out my promos. I didn't have a script. I was in the moment. So when I tell Hulk I'm going to cut a scathing promo on you, I'm telling him that because I don't know exactly what I'm going to say. And I guarantee you, Cena said something along those lines, and that's fine. But Punk had to get up. He had to get up, coach. He had to get up.
Boy, I was, as I watched it, because I was busy doing PFL in Wichita on Friday night, so I couldn't watch it in real time. But on my feed, it kept saying, man, coach, I want your reaction. Man, coach, what did you think about this? And I'm like, I can't wait to see it. And then when I watched it, and knowing Cena like I do, and we traveled together, it really felt like this put him in his zone. Let me ask you, moving forward, and we don't know when he's going to turn back babyface, but it's got to happen in the next couple of months, because he's only got 6 months left now. And we know December 13th is the last night of his career. How much quicker does he turn babyface based off of the crowd being behind him on this? Or does this let him lean into the heel a little bit more?
Again, coach, this is where you have to adjust on the fly. When you're talking about that response on Friday night, and we're going to wait a couple of months, are you out of your mind? That's not what they wanted. That's not what they planned for. But, coach, when it happens, you've got to make the adjustment. That's why I'm saying if I've got the book, CM Punk is turning heel on John Cena, and we're going to go the last 6 months with John Cena as a babyface.
So you would do it right here, right?
Absolutely. Right, absolutely. To save Punk, absolutely.
And they had Ron Killings a part of this yet again. And by the way, and we don't have time to hit on it right now, but your boy, Kevin Nash, went on his podcast. And after that happened, he said, hey, listen, you guys need to understand the Ron Killings thing was a complete work. I talked to Triple H, and he said, enjoy the show. Enjoy the show. And I'm thinking to myself, if Kevin Nash also getting worked by his buddy, because I don't believe for a second it was a work. I don't. And I'll stand on that. But your boy, Kevin Nash, does believe. So he's like, I'm not going to comment at all. Oh, I think that's a mistake.
Kevin is my boy.
Yes, he is.
absolutely no way that wasn't work. I am sorry. I love Kevin. Hey, maybe I'll give Kevin a call and we'll have a conversation over this, but no way, Coach. Absolutely no way.
Also, what do you make of the? Because I don't know if he realized that he inadvertently kind of threw Triple H under the bus, because he said Triple H called me and said, "Don't touch this, because let it play out and enjoy the show." So Vince, why would Triple H care if Kevin Nash is talking about this on a podcast that's not WWE related at all?
Well, because we all know Triple H and Kevin are boys. They've been boys for a really long time. And listen, man, the way this thing went down and nobody believing Triple H, I would not be surprised if Triple H gave Big Kev a call and said, buddy, you got to help me out. I honestly would not be at all. Yes.
That's what I think too. Because I don't think, and ever since he said it the night that Ron Killings came back, and now they're using him over and over, you can't tell me that they thought 3 weeks ahead and said, you know what, let's fire him. Let's have the narrative out there that we cut his salary, didn't want him back. We know he makes a lot of money. And then we're going to throw him right back into the biggest storyline that we have. We've never, ever seen that before.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And not only that, Coach, we didn't even touch this, but you also didn't do Ron Killings a service by letting Cena cut the promo with CM Punk dead, and Ron Killings was nowhere to be found.
Nowhere to be found. By the way, and we're just getting to the end of our first segment, did you see the video that was sent to us? I'm amazed that every single week, if we just keep our mouths shut, we are proved right over and over again after people lay into us on social media. There is a video of Braun Breaker throwing elbows in the corner and coming like a foot away from whoever he was throwing the elbows on. And they're like, you got to send this to Vince and Coach right away. We've become the standard. We have become the standard because we're the only one that calls this stuff out. And the work rate is just not there right now.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, you just got to do better. Coach, that's all. Coach, there are a lot of times I'm done with my podcast. Maybe you've done podcast. You're tired. Maybe it's not up to par, and you feel it, and you say, you know what? We got to do better. That's all.
We say it all the time. House shows, reps, they matter. It's like asking an NFL player, go out and play an NFL game, but you haven't done any practice or been in any games for a month. How's that going to work out for you? That's what superstars are doing right now. And it's showing in their work rate. All right, great start to the show, but we're just getting started. Still to come on the other side. Would you go to Saudi Arabia right now to wrestle in an event? That's what's on the table for WWE superstars. Also, bottom of the hour, it was Fanatics Fest, and the entire WWE roster showed up. We got a lot to talk about. Just getting started. This is the Coach and Bro Show. Where else but right here on Stadium. All right, we've got several small, medium, and large super stickers coming through. Producer man taking care of business. First of all, Kimberly, she's a premium member, Vince. She says the best things about Mondays, Coach and Company, Coach and Bro, and the last word. That's what I'm talking about, Kimberly. That's why you're our favorite. She's kind of our spokesman at this point.
Yes, she is.
All right. Demons Row says Punk stayed laying because Cena allowed him to bury him in the original pipe bomb. But Vince, he was up on the thing. He was way far away from them.
That's the difference, Coach. I've said the same thing. That is the difference. The original pipe bomb, you had Punk on the stage, you had Cena in the ring. There's distance. Yep. That's the difference, guys. Please understand that's the difference.
That's right. We're here to educate, not to talk down, to educate. Because my man knows. And those little details, guys, they matter. They matter big time. Where you do it, how you do it, why you do it.
Yes.
Awesome Sauce says, Vince, would you watch 1 year of WWE if Triple H brought Riri?
Oh, absolutely. If Riri was the commissioner, I'd be glued to my TV set. Pregnant and all, Coach. Pregnant and all.
I will tell you this. As our show grows, I was at the PFL event on Friday night. I kid you not, at least 5 people came up, and they asked me about this show in particular. And they just laugh at all the little things that we say. And they're like, and 2 people asked me this, if Vince was offered a spot as a head writer, would he go back? But they didn't say which company.
Yeah.
And so I said, which company? Go ahead.
Speaking of which company, Producer Man, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Producer Man, can you hear me? Producer Man, I want you to do me a big favor. At the end of this show, I want to give Coach a big surprise, Producer Man. Oh. So if you will, can you please go on my Twitter at the Vince Russo? I just posted a picture that I want to share with Coach at the end of this show, and that will answer his question that he just asked me. Producer Man. Right. Producer Man, you see what I'm talking about? Give me a big thumbs up, Producer Man in the room. Okay, I'm going to save it for the end of the show because we're going to end this show, Coach, with a huge pop.
Well, here we always produce for the pop. We know that.
Yeah.
We know that. All right, so those are all the stickers right now. If you guys have a question, an opinion, super sticker, put them into the chat. We'll get to the next batch in the second break of the show. But that's the only way that you get your name up on the show. You guys know the drill. So let's make it happen. And let's get into the second segment of the show. Here we go. Welcome back, everybody. It's the Coach and Bro Show here on Stadium. Great start talking about John Cena and such. But now we're getting into the meat of the summer schedule in the WWE. And then AEW obviously has their big show coming up in Texas as well. But Vince, there's a big time dilemma. And it's not a joke. It's not to be taken lightly. It is real life stuff. And over the weekend, Donald Trump bombed Iran. Their nuclear sites made headline news, went in, left without even being detected. For anybody that knows what the Middle East looks like, Saudi Arabia is right there next to Afghanistan, Iran. All of those countries are together. Vince, they're supposed to go over there for Night of Champions. They're supposed to go over there for SmackDown. And there has been reports that the talent, many of the talent are like, wait a second, what are we doing? At this point, does the talent, should they band together and step up? Because if it was me, Vince, I don't think I would go right now.
Yeah, Coach, I got to tell you, first of all, that's not going to happen. You know that's not going to happen because I have said a million times before, if the talent ever wanted to get pay raises, they ever wanted to get medical, they ever wanted to get 401ks, all they need to do is band together the day of WrestleMania and say, guess what? None of us are going out there until they will never do that because you'll have that one person afraid of losing their job. So that'll never happen. Coach, I got to tell you, this is immediately where my mind went.
Okay.
You've got mothers going over there, okay? And my mind immediately went to, if I am married to a WWE superstar, a female, and she is the mother of my children, she ain't going. It's that I don't care if you lose your job. I don't care if you divorce me. You're not going. Period. End of story. And when I'm looking at the guys, again, Coach, we're talking about a lot of dads. I mean, this is real life stuff. And you talk about Iran being right next to Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is right smack in the middle of Israel and incoming.
Right,
it's ridiculous. Coach, I mean, the fact that we're even having this conversation is ridiculous. And Coach, I would love to hear, I never heard you talk about this, but we already know there was an instant where the plane was held up on the runway and no real story came out. You were a part of that, Coach.
Yeah, so I've got two stories. We'll start with that one. That was in 2018. I had just come back to the WWE. Thank goodness they didn't ask me to go. But when Vince signed his original deal, it was 10 years, 2 shows a year, $10 million per show, and they would pay the production cost. So it was $20 million to the company. Well, in the second or third visit, they still owed Vince like $30 million. So Vince pulled the feed of several of the countries around Saudi Arabia. So Saudi Arabia grounded the plane. And the talent was stuck in the airport, sitting, leaning up against the walls, having no idea what was going on in a country that at that point still didn't allow females to participate. And at that point, you didn't know what they were willing to do. Now they want to become a destination. So that fear to me should be gone. The fear that replaces it, Vince, is the fear of if somebody else knows a plane from America is flying into Saudi Arabia, you don't think they're going to try and do something, either shoot it down, kidnap, whatever it is. And if people think I'm extreme on that, that's what they do in that part of the country or part of the world. And worse. And women are treated way worse in that part of the world as well. And they kind of made it a badge of honor when they were allowed to then wrestle on these cards in Saudi Arabia by year 3 or 4, whatever it was. And so now both women and men can participate. This would be a no-brainer, Vince, for me. I would not get on that plane. My other one, quickly, I don't want to dominate the segment, but you said dads and moms. When we were doing our Christmas shows in Afghanistan and Iraq from 2003 to 2007, I went in 2005. In 2006, I think I have those years right, my wife was pregnant with my daughter, and she was due in June. This was December. She said, I don't want you to go to Afghanistan. I told Vince that, and they thought I was kidding. I said, why would I kid about that? So the week after that, I got punished. I've told this story several times, and I got beat up by The Undertaker, by Batista. I took multiple finishes after the show was over simply because I said, I don't want to go to the Middle East because my pregnant wife would have anxiety. She would have stress, and you don't want to put that on a baby. It's real. I lived it, and I would not do it again.
And that's what I'm talking about, man. We talk about this all the time. Guys, get your priorities straight. Like, seriously, this is a very, very, very serious issue. And, you know, like Coach said earlier in the show, if under the circumstances you don't go and they threaten your job and they fire you, good luck with that in a court of law. I got one question to ask you, Coach.
Sure.
After you got beat up by Batista, Undertaker, and who else?
Well, those were the two.
Those two. Did you sell more or less than CM Punk sold on Friday?
I didn't sell at all. Well, I didn't sell very much. I'll say that. And I walked into Vince's. I was so angry.
I don't blame you, man.
You know how sometimes you get so angry or scared that you just start to cry?
Yes.
And your body can't control it. That's what happened to me.
Yeah, I believe that. Yes.
Because I was so angry because at the time I remember thinking, I've said yes to this man every step of the way.
Right.
Holidays, all the stuff that we've talked about.
Right.
I even went to Afghanistan the year before, and I wrestled Ric Flair in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
I already went. It's not like I refused to go, but this was a situation where I just didn't feel comfortable. And Amy's her name, my now ex-wife, but we're still very, very close. My daughter's about ready to turn 17 in 3 days.
Wow.
In 3 days.
Yeah.
And I remember saying to Vince, are you kidding me right now? Everything I've done, every time he asked me to do something, yes, 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 yes. And then that was how he reacted to saying no, because part of the reason was you had to have background checks. You could only take 18 talent and 12 crew members. So getting another person to go was not just, hey, let's throw another person on the plane. They had to be vetted. They had to have packed for the trip, the whole deal. So they were angry with me. But Vince, I told them, their response to me was, we thought you were kidding. What? Kidding?
Yeah.
Why would I kid about going to Iraq?
Yeah.
Why would I ever do that? Now, I will say this, moving this story forward. Producer man just sent this to me. And I quote, the airspace closures are part of a coordinated response among several Gulf states, including Bahrain, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, and Jordan, in light of the heightened risk of missile attacks targeting U.S. bases in the region. So it seems like Saudi Arabia has closed their airspace as well until further notice. Vince, if you're TKO, if you're WWE, take the initiative. Show people that you care about your talent and cancel the trip and cancel the shows. It's not worth it.
And there was a story I was reading today, Coach. Part of what's playing into this is I believe the Royal Rumble is supposed to be there.
Next year.
Again, yeah, it's dollars and cents. You know that's what this is all about. It's all about dollars and cents. And let's see what TKO does, because the bottom line, coach, is that's what it's all about. It's all about the money.
There's another report out there by our favorite dirt sheet person, and I've got Dirt Sheet Dan all over this one. So I won't give the name because I don't even want to give him that much pub, but I felt like this report was the dumbest idea I've ever heard. And then I thought maybe for once he might be right. Doesn't happen often, but maybe for once he would be right. That WWE is actually thinking about doing 2 WrestleManias per year, and that Saudi Arabia would be involved somehow in one of those 2. I find that utterly ridiculous, but this is TKO. Could you ever imagine? You talk about watered down. 2 WrestleManias in 1 year?
And guess what? And guess what? They'd sell them both out, coach.
Especially if one's in Saudi Arabia.
You know it. I mean, yes, it's absolutely ridiculous. Yes. Would they make a ton of money? Yes. Therefore, would they do it? Yes. Would people go? Yes.
When I think about 2 WrestleMania, I already think that 2 nights
I
of
agree.
WrestleMania is ridiculous.
Right.
And the more that you have, the more watered down it gets. I think SummerSlam is going to feel watered down because you have 2 nights in New York. It is. We know it's all about every last dollar they can pick up off the ground. But Vince, can you imagine? We always go back to WWVT or WWVD.
Right.
What would Vince do or think? WrestleMania is special. WrestleMania was invented to have the showcase of the immortals. And you don't need 4 nights a year to showcase the mortals. I can't even imagine in any universe that Triple H and WWE, no matter how much money you're making, Vince, would think that's a good thing.
The money's dictating, coach. I mean, they've made that perfectly clear. So I sit here not surprised at all by that.
Wow. I don't know going forward. I'm getting more and more updates. I set my phone to have these updates going on because this whole Iran situation, it's incredibly fascinating. It's incredibly scary.
Yes.
You have a lot of Americans that are in Israel right now, and the bombings that are going on there is crazy. It's almost as if, Vince, we're living in 2 different worlds right now. That here in the United States, we feel very safe. We feel like life goes on as normal. And then there's other places in the world where people are moving out of their houses and moving into bomb shelters and working on. And we're talking about doing a wrestling show in Saudi Arabia.
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous because, coach, we are 4 days away. 4 days away, and I don't even know if they're hemming and hawing. The report I read yesterday was they are still planning to go. 4 days away. This should have been shut down immediately as soon as President Trump gave a briefing as to what happened over there. An hour later, this should have been shut down.
Well, we, of course, here at Coaching Company, follow us on social media. We'll keep you updated on everything that's going on with this trip and the WWE Superstars, which we still have a lot of friends that are there as well. All right, we're only halfway home here on Coach and Bro Show. Coming up on the other side, Fanatics Fest, WWE Superstars all over the place. And I'll explain. Coach and Bro right here on Stadium. All right, we got a lot of super stickers going on out there right now. I know that Producer Man is getting them together, and I will get a text very, very soon. But in the meantime, okay, where do we start here? I'm trying to learn here, Vince, as we go. Let's go back up here because I know Producer Man's doing a million different things. All right, here we go. Guys, I think Punk stayed buried there because he thinks he can top his promo with his perspective in his next promo on Cena. Not believable him laying there at all. Your thoughts, Vince?
No, that's not true. That was what they agreed upon. That's what was scripted. And I understand that, but sometimes you got to improvise. And like I said, man, Punk laying there, bro, he knew the longer this went on, the more he was being buried, and they had to call a, I'm just, yeah, absolutely, man. That's what I would have done if I was back there at the gorilla position. I would have sent the ref over there to smarten him up, and that's what I would have done.
Music Maniac says WWE needs Joe Cronin for commentary. I do want to, because we're very fair here, I do want to say this. Corey Graves is getting a lot of positive reviews for his work the last couple of weeks. Pat McAfee had to miss for some ESPN responsibilities. I thought Corey did a really good job, and then he did the AAA show, so I got to give credit where credit's due, and I thought he did a nice job. And the fact that your boy Conan, and it looks like he's getting back in the good graces, and he even tweeted out and said, hey, listen, I made a mistake. I forgot how much I enjoy this stuff. So it's not always over just because you get a little bit of heat, Vince.
No, absolutely. I mean, time heals all wounds. We've seen that time and time and time again, the WWE, coach.
All right. Michael Gavin, the Ali Show, says, why would WWE risk going to Saudi Arabia this weekend? It's stupid and unnecessary to risk people's lives. WWE have to be dumb doing this. You know they watch these shows, Vince. They listen to us, and they listen to the fans. I haven't seen one person go, hell yeah, just go on over. I don't see the issue. Not one, right?
It's just greed. I mean, coach, it's greed. I don't know that if me saying greed makes me negative, then I guess I'm being negative, because this is a no-brainer. This is an absolute no-brainer.
All right, Vince, you know we have become worldwide. You and I are worldwide podcast wrestling stars. That's just who we are. That's who we become, right? So, you know there's certain things that you have to do when they ask you to do them. Vince, the floor is yours.
Okay. Johnny Catch. Johnny Catch. Johnny Catch. Johnny Catch.
Right now, in this moment, I feel like TKO. We'll do anything for $1. We'll do anything for $1.
Coach, I did a show on Sportskeeda on Friday, and Mad Mac Davis says, "Oh, if we reach this number." So we reached the number. I had to do a full-blown karaoke dancing queen this past Friday, Coach.
Oh my gosh. How are my good friends over at Sportskeeda doing there, Vince?
They've never been the same, Coach, since you. I've got to say that. They've never been the same.
It's okay. Hey, my phone's always on. My phone is always on. We've got another super sticker to get to. Or sorry, these are small stickers. We're going to brand them because we want to really pump up those with the big ones, and we value those with all of them. Angel Lucia says, Vince, I wonder how TKO feels that John Jones retired. He made UFC and TKO look like idiots. UFC going to a new TV deal, you won't have your biggest fighter. So I don't know if you know the backstory to this, Vince.
Yeah, that's all you, Coach. I'm not a big UFC guy. All you.
So John Jones, the greatest fighter of all time. He's the UFC World Heavyweight Champion for over 2 years. And he was scheduled to fight Tom Aspinall, who was the interim champ, Vince. And John Jones has made a ton of money. And he's like, I want $50 million to fight this guy. And so the UFC, and think about if WWE did this. UFC has not had their World Heavyweight Championship fought for in over 2 years.
Oh, almost. My gosh.
2 years. He's been holding them hostage. So Dana White says, no, John Jones, he agreed to it. John Jones, this is going to happen with Tom Aspinall. And so out of the blue 3 days ago, John Jones retired. So now they had to make Tom Aspinall, who's been on the shelf for over a year as the interim champ, they had to make him the undisputed champ. And so now they're going to line up a fight. So they could have done this over a year ago.
Wow.
They've been sitting and waiting. Can you imagine?
That's got to be a PR nightmare, man.
Nightmare.
Yeah.
And right now the UFC, Vince, is starting to, because I'm with the PFL, and we just started a fan-friendly tier of ticket sales. So you can get into our fights for a minimum of $25. Okay? To go to a UFC event the other day, I just read tweet after tweet after tweet. It's like over $1,000 to get in for a front row seat to a normal UFC event, a normal event. a normal event.
I just don't know. I mean, Coach, when I hear things like this, I mean, where are people finding this money? I really hope. I mean this sincerely. I hope people aren't going into debt in order to go see a sporting event. I mean, I really, really, truly hope people are smarter than that, Coach.
Well, and this is the only thing I would defend them, Vince, on is this: when you've got two kids that are standing there and they're looking at dad and looking
Yeah,
at
I
mom,
know, I know, I
and
know.
you're coming to Green Bay once a year, and you go, Mom and Dad, I just saw the commercial. They're coming. We're 15 minutes from the arena. Can we go, Dad? Can we go? I just saw a video of this young Latino dad who surprised his daughter. It was on Instagram, and he was like, "Get your clothes on. We're gonna go for a drive." And he surprised her at a SmackDown or Raw event, and they edited the video together. She lost her mind when Jey Uso came out. He walked right beside her, did the yeet with her. This girl's probably 6 years old, 7 years old. And I literally almost started crying because I was like, this is the WWE I remember. This is
Yes,
the WWE I love.
yes,
And this poor guy is not going to be able to take his daughter the next time.
yeah,
And he didn't say how much he spent that time, but it was quite a bit. It was quite
yeah,
a bit.
yeah.
A few more super stickers. You guys keep them coming. We've got all the time in the world today. We'll sit here all day if we have to. Punet says Triple H wrote the pipe bomb promo. It would have been his idea to switch it for JC to use it, and surely Punk will have been given the heads up. Do you think Triple H would piss Punk off by blindsiding him? Well, we're not saying that he didn't know it was coming. What we're saying is he laid there for it as if he was dead for 20 minutes while John Cena sat up there in the corner. And that was unrealistic. Correct, Vince?
Well, yeah, and Coach, you have to understand, as we were getting towards the end of that show, Coach, there was a timing issue. Cena had to eat up a lot of time because if you remember, he said at one point there, I don't care that we've got 2 minutes left. So that's what it was not designed to go on that long. But either somebody before them went short, but Cena had to drag it out. And by dragging it out, that's what made Punk look weak. And that's where I think they needed to call an audible. But again, Coach, I want to make people absolutely clear on this.
Mm-hmm.
Cena's writing his own stuff, guys. I was told that directly. The angles, the promos, this is 100% John Cena. And like I said, something went short. Cena had to stretch this out, but they had to call an audible, Coach.
Yeah, because right now SmackDown is on USA. If it was on Netflix,
Right.
it wouldn't matter.
They could have went off.
In the United States, it's on USA. Producer man, I want to make sure that I get this correct. So they just came out, Vince, and either SmackDown is going back to 2 hours,
Yes.
or it is. They just announced that, right? Thank God.
Thank
And
God.
I think about you whenever I
Oh,
see that.
thank God.
Like you on a Friday night watching SmackDown.
Especially, Coach, when the Giants are on. You know how much that kills me? You know how much that kills me when the Giant game is on and I'm watching SmackDown? Oh!
Think about if they lose. It's like a double whammy to you.
Oh,
like a double whammy.
Yes.
One more super sticker, and then we'll get to the second half of the show. You can keep them coming. Of course, we'll get to all of them, but we'll get to the rest in the next break. The Adventures of Gen X says, why don't they just rename all the PLEs WrestleMania? WrestleMania SummerSlam, WrestleMania Survivor Series.
I like that. Very nice.
Yeah, why don't we do that? You get the
Very
branding
nice.
in there.
Patent that, bro. Trademark that, Gen X. They may take you up on it, man.
We might have the smartest chat in all of pro wrestling.
Yes.
The smartest chat, the best chat, the most loyal
Yep.
chat. Tell all your friends. We want this as big as we could possibly make it. We're not even a year in. Think about that, guys. We're not even a year in, and we're already on national television. Think about it. Think about it. All right, let's get to it. Second half of the show starting right here and right now. In 3, 2. Welcome back, everybody, to the Coach and Bro Show on the Stadium Network and everywhere that you find Stadium, Amazon Prime Video, DirecTV, YouTube TV, the list goes on and on. Now, we are past the bottom of the hour. And I got to tell you, over the weekend, there was a lot of big sporting events that went down. The NBA Finals, that came to an end. The College World Series, LSU wins that. But Vince, there was I believe it's the second annual Fanatics Fest. And it's supposed to be athletes and wrestlers. It felt like to me it was wrestlers and some big time athletes decided to show up because the WWE also did their SummerSlam press conference as a part of this Fanatics Fest. Before I show you some of the video that went down, were you able to see all of the embarrassing athletic feats that some of the WWE talent pulled off?
I gotta say, the only thing I got to see was Cody Rhodes, and I was very surprised at the way he shot a basketball. Coach, I will tell you this. Coach, I want to throw a question at you.
Okay.
Who was the greatest pure athlete, best athlete you ever worked with in wrestling?
Oh, the best pure athlete in wrestling?
Yes.
I would say the best pure athlete was either Shelton Benjamin or, Brock Lesnar was crazy athletic. I would say those two guys. Probably those two are there. But when you're talking about athleticism, I would say those two guys are probably the greatest.
But when you say, athletes, I don't know. I don't know if Brock Lesnar.
They can do other things. They can do multiple. I got
can
you.
Brock Lesnar raise his arms above his head to shoot a jump shot?
Well, okay. Well, if you're asking me that, I would say none of them. There were no athletes that walked in and go, "Yeah, I'm great at basketball, baseball."
Bro, I'll tell you who was the greatest athlete. I'm going to go as far as to say perhaps in the history of wrestling.
Let's say it on the 3 count because I think I know who you're going to say. It just came into my head. 3, 2, 1.
Billy
Mr.
Gunn.
Perfect.
Billy Gunn. Billy Gunn, bro.
Why was Billy so good?
Billy Gunn. From riding bulls to on a basketball court, bro, Billy Gunn could do it all.
Mr. Perfect. I remember his promos back in the day. They were amazing. By the way, Billy Gunn is 60 years old now. And I don't know if you've seen him lately.
Unreal.
He looks better than 30-year-old dudes right now.
Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable.
Absolutely crazy.
Yes.
All right. So they had this competition, Vince, at Fanatics Fest. Okay. It was a bunch of celebrity athletes, and then they had 50 normal fans that were allowed to participate. It was 8 different competitions. You got points for it. And a lot of the WWE talent, like Cena, like Cody, participated. There was a 3-point contest, I believe a free throw contest. There was also a WWE entrance that got rated. So like Tom Brady, Eli Manning, and all. So I want to run just a little bit of what happened this weekend at Fanatics Fest. Producer man, if you don't mind. And it's uploading right now because I'm an idiot. I don't read my text messages. But Vince, I will tell you this. Tom Brady won this competition, okay? He won $1 million. And then UFC superstar Justin Gaethje, who wasn't even in it. Just give me a thumbs up, producer man, when it's good to go. He wasn't even in it 3 days ago. He finished second. Guess what he won?
A peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Yeah, to be put inside of a Ferrari.
Oh,
he literally drove off in a brand new Ferrari.
Wow. Wait a minute. So Brady himself won $1 million. It didn't go to a charity or something?
See, let me finish. So he gave all 50 normal fans $5,000, which was $250, and then he did donate the other $750 to charity.
That's
of
awesome.
the $1 million. So everybody, it was a win-win.
Yeah.
Here's a little bit of the video that happened in New York City.
Yes.
I mean, and he's doing it in a suit and tie.
Oh.
And now we're throwing baseballs.
Oh, no. Cena's working, though, Coach. Cena's not this bad.
How about the mother who gave
I
her
saw
newborn
this.
To,
yeah.
you're right.
I question that, Coach.
First of all, would you ever that baby couldn't have been over a month old. Would you ever take it to a fan fest or hand it to I love Chelsea, but anybody else?
Coach, I go bananas when I see parents bring little babies to a baseball game. You've got line drives coming in the crowd and you got a 2-month-old in your arms? Really?
It's bananas.
It's
But these
insane.
parents, apparently they don't care. They don't care. And oh my gosh. Chelsea Green, by the way, I love her and Matt Cardona.
Love them both.
Do you know how Matt found out about the Cena promo, by the way?
I do not.
So Chelsea had to tell him because he was busy working. He does, he does shows every Friday and Saturday. He's making more money than he was in the WWE.
Yeah.
So then she posted a picture like turning around, like with a, showing her bum, as they say in Europe. And he said he made some comment about it. They're so good using social media to their advantage.
They should give a class. They should literally give an online seminar. You guys would make tons and tons of money and help a lot of people.
I'm so glad that you mentioned that because exactly what we're going to do here at Coach and Bro and Coach and Company. There's a lot of people out there that want to get into the business. They want to learn how to talk. They want to learn how to write. So we're going to teach them at a small nominal fee. But that's going to happen right here. By the way, I didn't tell you this, Vince. The other day, I was at Target. I came down here to my parents' house. I was at Target. I kid you not. On my children, this happened. I was looking for eye stuff. And I walk around the corner, and there's this little kid. And he's just standing there looking at me. And I'm sure for a 5-year-old or a 4-year-old looking up at me, I must look like a mountain. And he looks at me, and he goes, I can't find my mom.
Oh.
And I looked around. I was like, am I getting punked right now? And I said, what's your mom's name? He goes, Lydia. And I says, well, my name's Jonathan. What's your name? He goes, Johnny, little Johnny, looking for Lydia. I'm like, how do you lose a 3 or 4-year-old in Target in Salina, Kansas, of all places? And so I said, hey, do you want to hear your name on the loudspeaker at Target? He goes, yeah, I do.
Oh, wow, Coach.
I had to think, how do I get him to walk with me into the front of the store? Because, a big black man and a small white kid walking out.
Oh, my God.
I'm going to get put in handcuffs.
Of course. You always think the worst.
Yes. So I had to go up, and they said, Miss Lydia, little Johnny is up here. All of a sudden, here comes Mom, just racing down the aisle, like terrified. And I'm glad that she reunited with her son. But my God, little Johnny had to be terrified. A, he lost Mom. B, a big black man had to save him.
Coach, I got to tell you, man, when my kids were growing up, my oldest son, Will, and my second son, VJ. VJ was the youngest one. And when we would go to the mall and stuff, he used to like to wander, right? Uh-huh. So after a while, what me and my oldest son, Will, did, and keep in mind, VJ at this point is probably about 3 or 4 years old. When he used to wander, me and Will used to take off. Watching him, but take off.
Oh,
and Coach, This was the cue. Here's how it would go down. We would take off. He would look around. The first thing you see is the cry face, but this was the cue when we had to give ourselves up. He would put the hand on the pee-pee. When he put the hand on the pee-pee, we knew, okay, we got to go get him. Let's go get him. Coach, we did that for years and years and years and years, Coach. I just wanted to. Was I a great dad or not, Coach?
You were a great dad. And I got my bingo card over here. I did not have that on it, but I just got it. By the way, speaking of not having it on your bingo card, there's always a Triple H tie-in to what we do. Is there not?
Always.
Is there not? So at Fanatics Fest,
don't tell me Triple H shot a basketball. Don't tell me that. I don't want to see what that looks like. No. I just know what that looks like.
Vince, he did not shoot a basketball.
Okay, thank God.
He was too busy doing his spit the water entrance not once, not twice, 3 times on stage. He did the spit the water during the day. How many times? What do you think the record is? Is it like over 2.5? If you're on the betting lines on how many times at a fan fest Triple H is going to do his water spit.
Speaking of Triple H, hold on. I gotta get my thing because producer man's got to make a note of this.
Okay. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I got a conspiracy theory, Coach.
All right, you got 2 minutes.
Coach, real quick. Yesterday,
Yesterday
I saw an interview with my beloved China, and she was talking about how she found out about her and Stephanie, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so my mind's thinking, and listen, let's face it, I don't question for a second. Triple H and Stephanie fell in love, but let's face it, Triple H knew what he was getting in the deal. Let's just be honest. So here's where my mind starts going.
Okay.
Who's going to be the first female to set her sights on Tony Khan in AEW? I mean, would that not be the catch of catches? Listen, all you women working at AEW, go for it. Like, are you? And Coach, here's the teaser. I'm going to tell you on our next show who I think it's going to be.
Oh my God, that's one of your greatest teasers of all time.
Cliffhanger. Yes.
I will tell you this, that we used to backstage when that whole thing was going down. Because really think about it, you can do one of two things. Either you're going to be rich beyond your wildest imagination,
yes,
or you're going to be looking for another job.
Right.
And I remember we used to talk about saying there's one person who could survive a breakup in that scenario, and that was Triple H. Because he was so dialed into the business.
Yeah.
But you talk about say it was me that started dating Steph and I screwed up, guess who's looking for another line of work?
Yeah.
Your boy.
Yeah.
So it took a lot of guts to do that if you're Triple H. But now they're the power couple. I mean, she's got 2 shows. He's the head of creative. Who would have ever thought? Who would have ever thought?
Spitting 3 times.
Hey, we're the face of Fanatics. All right, still to come. NAW, NAW. Coach, what are you talking about? I'll tell you next. This is the Coach and Bro Show. Having a great time right here on Stadium. All right, we got a few more super stickers we got to get to. By the way, Vince, you're getting really good at teases. You got to teach Al Snow how to do teases.
Yeah, and I really thought this out too, Coach, and I think I know who it's going to be.
I can't wait. I'm going to have to guess, and I want the chat to guess too, because this is because this is changing the trajectory of somebody's life.
Do you think right now, let's be honest, do you think right now that is going through the mind of any of the females there? I think they're nuts if that's not going through their mind.
Vince, I do not think it's going through the mind of any of those females at AEW. I think it's going through the mind of every female at AEW. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now?
That would be. Forget about it, right?
He's a nice guy. They're worth twice as much as Vince.
Yes.
$13 billion.
Yes.
Of course, they're thinking about it.
Yes.
All right, we got a few super stickers to get to. SCSA, never the same without Russo. Saw old 99 SmackDown. You really know how to write for him. Also, Austin might do WrestleMania. That we get Rock versus Roman when Rock's 60. There's a lot of things. And I was doing a radio interview, Vince, this week, and they were asking me about The Rock. And I had to stop and think about it. Do you know now it's been, if you talk, let's call it March 1st.
Yeah.
So March, April, May, and June. And the only time we've seen or heard from The Rock when it comes to WWE, and they paid him $45 million, is on the Pat McAfee show 2 days after WrestleMania.
Wow.
And since then, not a damn thing. He's on the board of directors. He's one of the highest paid people at the company. If you're trying to sell me, ladies and gentlemen, that there's not a riff,
wow,
you got to look at the tea leaves.
Yeah, I mean, the silence speaks volumes. It really does, Coach. I mean, I did not realize it's been that long, but God, yeah, absolutely.
Not a tweet, Vince.
Yeah, man, crazy.
Not an IG post. Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. It's crazy. Even when he wasn't involved and he was making movies, he'd be like, "Hey, man, I saw Cody on SmackDown. Hell of a job. Nothing.
Yeah.
Williams Wrestling says, Coach, would you rather spend the day with VKM or Triple H? Well, I would say Triple H because I always got along with him. You know, Triple H, when he forgets where he is in the company, can be a really cool guy. Mm-hmm. He really can be. Mm-hmm. But then he has to point in the pictures, and I laugh. I'd start laughing because I think of Vince Russo and the whole. What do you call that? The point of doom? Is that?
Yeah. Yes. The finger point of doom. Yes.
Finger point of doom. no, it's Lena Vega. Where's she been? Vince, you guys got to understand, Vince is a very hard person to be around. It's very awkward. I used to say this, Vince, because I love the fact that I have really good relationships and I'm a sports fan. Like if you and I got together to watch a Giants game, it would be the easiest thing in the world. We'd have some beers, we'd have barbecue, cooked burgers, no issues. I used to say Vince doesn't have one person in his life, not one, that he could call up on a Sunday morning and say, hey, Cowboys are playing the Giants today. You want to come over and watch the game? So no matter how much money you have, Vince, how sad is that Vince doesn't have one person in his life to do that?
Yeah, no, I mean, gosh, when I was there, I guess the closest person to him was probably Pat, but
100%.
they did not have that kind of a relationship at all. It was 100% business.
Yeah, they would meet at their house on Saturdays for 8 hours, 10 hours. Those poor writing assistants, they would write all week long, and then he would rip it all up and start over again. And I cannot tell you how many times I got a call on Friday. Hey, coach, here's what you're doing on Monday. And then I'd get to the show on Monday and go, oh, sorry, that changed on Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what about college football? What about NFL?
No, exactly.
I mean, what happened?
Exactly.
Jay Balboni says, I watched a AAA event with a three-way tag match and was done the way I would think it should be. 3 people in the ring at the same time. Why doesn't the U.S. do the same, Vince?
You know what? I always say that, Jay, and I love that you pointed that out, man. Every single time you see a three-way, somebody's got to roll to the outside, and they got to take turns of who's in the ring. Yes, a three-way can be laid out the right way. Obviously, you saw it, but that just really takes a little time and a little thought. But I hear what you're saying, and I agree with you.
Okay. I want to say this. I do value our premium members here at BTT, but sometimes we have to hand out the dumbest question of the day award.
Go for it.
And that goes today to Super Hario 64 because he says, couldn't coach have hired a nanny for his pregnant wife back when he was supposed to go to Afghanistan? Super Hario, thank you for your support. This had nothing to do with watching a baby that wasn't born yet.
No, Coach, he's saying that as a joke.
How so? I guess I'm confused.
Because that's why I left the WWE, because Vince told me to hire a nanny to watch my kids. So he's piggybacking off of why Vince Russo
All right,
left the WWE.
I'll take that back. Then I apologize. Yeah. I thought he was saying that when I...
No. Those were Vince's last words to Vince Russo.
I remember that now. So Super Hario, I take it back.
Yes.
We're all good. We were all good anyway. I was just, all right. That's hilarious. All right, I think even producer man got that. I was the only one that did not. All right, keep the super sticker, medium stickers, and small stickers coming. We love all of you. One more segment to get to, then we will get to all the rest of those and wrap things up. Having a great time today on the show. Something coming that Vince has never seen. I absolutely love it. So here we go. All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Coach and Bro Show on the Stadium Network. Now, Vince, there's a lot of people out there that I think when you talk about being entertaining and you talk about having fun, I think in the pro wrestling space, you can have fun, but so many times we get caught up watching Raw or SmackDown or Dynamite. It's always really, really, really serious. So recently, I connected with this group called NAW. And Shane Hartline is the CEO. He's the owner. He's got over 1 million followers on TikTok, and he loves pro wrestling. He also does a thing called the Writer's Room where they do skits as if they were writing for storylines from 25 years ago, 2000, 2001, 2002. So he put this on my feed this morning. I thought, I want to run this and then get Vince's reaction to it. This is a recent NAW night where they had tryouts for talent, for wrestlers, and it's called Nearly Average Wrestling. They're not trying to be good. They are not trying to be good. Producer man, let's roll the tape for Vince, please.
Who wants their life changed here tonight? You have 60 seconds. Make it count! What are you here to try out for?
Commentator or announcer? Peter's kind of playing patty cake with himself?
You want to call that commentary? You shut your dollar store Jonah Hill looking ass and sit your ass down.
Those pants haven't fit him in about 32 years.
I'm here to put the fear of God in y'all.
18 and up show, everybody. I don't know what's about.
I was born with no genitalia. You promised me a contract.
Can I tell you, Vince, I don't know that I've had so much fun in a really, really long time. And every cliche that you hate, that you hear on TV, they implement it in their show as a parody and as a joke. Like, you deserve, like all that kind of stuff. They just use it as a joke. These guys are hilarious. So much fun.
I always say, Coach, and I've been saying it for so long, professional wrestling has become a parody of itself. Now, people say, Vince, would you write for this guy? Would you write for that guy? I would want to work for that company. I would want to work for that company. Coach, producer man, are you ready there? Because, Coach, you said, you have dreams and aspirations.
Yeah.
There was a photo circulating, Coach, and this is the greatest dream that I could possibly have. Producer man, there it is, Coach. Coach, me and Tony Khan at Oracle Park celebrating a giant victory. Look at us. Look at us, how happy the both of us are, Coach.
Well, first of all, that looks real. That looks real. AI is crazy. It looks like that's really you guys. Oh, my God.
Coach, magical. It would be magic. And I even said, I'll pay for the tickets. I got a connection at the park. Tony, make this happen.
I'm just staring. I'm just letting it wash over me. I'm just letting it wash over me. Because I know you about as good as anybody now, and nobody loves the Giants more than you.
Yes.
And I can only imagine him flying out to the Bay Area.
Yes.
He's wooing you. He's recruiting you. It's like, Vince, I'm going to pay you this amount. Sounds great.
Yes.
I'm going to do this for you. Private jets. Sounds great.
Yes.
But I want season tickets to the San Francisco Giants game.
Yes. Make it happen.
Well, that's a deal breaker, Vince. That's a deal. And can you imagine if he gave you everything else and wouldn't give you season tickets to the Giants game?
Hey, Coach, real quick, your buddy, what he's doing there, I love that. Entertaining is like, so what is he doing with it? Is this something you could go to? What are we doing with it?
Yeah, so they have a show every month at like little places in Hollywood and LA. And they also, and I would encourage people to go to their IG. So they do. So he was on Saturday Night Live. So he's big into sketch comedy. And so they do this thing called the Writers Room. And I'm so glad you said that, Vince, because he just asked me, do you think Vince would be a part of a writer? So basically, they basically, it's like 10 guys that have all been on shows you've seen. And they throw out storylines. As it like the Eugene storyline, like having a slightly,
yes,
you know what I mean, a slightly less than smart person, and they're like, "No, we can never do that." Yes, we can. Let's throw it up there on Monday Night Raw. So all the stuff we used to do that was crazy, and so Shane's like, "I would love to have Vince Russo walk during a skit and go, yeah, and then you lay out one of the craziest ones that you did."
Coach, I got time to tell you a quick story.
100%.
When Jeremy Borash and myself, when we were on hiatus from WCW, we wrote a adult pay-per-view women's wrestling show called Bitch Slap. Okay? It was like almost an R-rated Glow. Let's put it that way. And we actually pitched it to DirecTV or whatever. We actually pitched it, and they loved it. And they said, "Okay, how you guys going to do this?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't know how we're going to do it. Like, that's up to you." But, Coach, do you want to know the name of our tag team champs in Bitch Slap?
Oh, my God. Do I want to know? That's
you want to know? Yes.
Of course I do. I'm a sucker.
The tag team champions were a team by the name of Moose Knuckle and Camel Toe. Very nice. Very nice. So I'm in. I'm in with you, buddy. I'm in. Tell me where, tell me when. I'm in. I would eat that up.
I would like to thank Stadium and all of the affiliates out there for our time on their network. Okay, I'm kidding. Oh my God, that's so funny. And that's what pro wrestling needs.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I'm so tired. I really am. Of the, it's got to be serious. It's got to be slowly,
when and how did that happen, Coach? When and how did that happen?
I watched a show the other day that I respect a lot, and they literally were echoing a lot of the things we were saying, that where are the fun skits in the back? Where's the fun? And even the skits in the back are only used nowadays to further a storyline into a match. And we see, 30 matches a week between all the shows. So the matches should be the tie-in to the skits, not the other way around, in my opinion.
I agree 100%.
I don't know if they can go backwards at this point, but the fun and the funny in pro wrestling. Vince, do you remember the last time that you watched something and you just laughed out loud?
No, I don't. And Coach, you're in the Attitude Era. Here's what I used to hear all the time. Vince, we watch Raw because we want to see what happens between the wrestling. Mm-hmm. I heard that all the time.
I was, the algorithm on IG and Kevin Kelly, who is an announcer who's been there. He's still doing a little bit, I think. I worked with him a lot. And I remember one of the funniest things we ever did was something that no words were spoken. And remember, we used to camp out outside of the Rock's locker room, and then good old JR would be like, coming up on the other side, we hear from the great one, the Brahma Bull, the Rock. So Kevin Kelly, they convinced him. I kid you not, they convinced him to stand outside the Rock's locker room. And as if he didn't know a camera was right in his face, JR saying it, he's looking around, and then he sticks his finger directly up his nose. So he's got his finger inside of his nose, come back from commercial break. He goes, well, Rock, and Rock goes, wait a second. Did the Rock just see Kevin Kelly picking his nose? And Kevin goes, well, Rock, he goes, no. The Rock saw it. So we're going to do this entire interview with your finger up your nose. And they did the whole interview.
Tremendous.
It was so funny. It was so funny.
Coach, one of the best things, and I saw it just a couple weeks ago because I do my Attitude Era, review show, and I swear when JR went through his second bout of Bell's palsy, and JR wanted to prematurely come back on the show, and this was a shoot behind the scenes. We were trying to protect him from himself, not JR, and then he bills his own announce table. What happened to that stuff, Coach?
We got to bring it back. You and I, we can make it happen. Make it happen. What a great show this week. What a great freaking show this week. That's going to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, we are every single Wednesday night, 11 p.m. Eastern time on Stadium. Do not forget, we have a second show on Thursdays around 1 p.m. Eastern time. I love this so much. For my man, Vince Russo from russosbrand.com, producer man, I am the coach. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in, supporting us. We'll see you next time. This is the Coach and Bro Show, only on Stadium. Take care. All right, you crazy cats. We got a few more super stickers to get to. By the way, the NAW Wrestling, they're dropping a new episode June 27th. So we're going to play that here on the show during the break. I want everybody to see what they're doing.
Where are they dropping it, though, Code? Like, where do you watch it?
YouTube.
Oh, it's on YouTube. And what is it, UAW?
No, NAW. It's called, Nearly Average Wrestling.
Got it. That was funny. I love that, man. That's right up my alley, bro. That's tremendous.
Wait till you see the skits. The skits are amazing that they do. Oh, it's so good. All right, we have a few more. Heard Austin let WWE know he wants one more match. Do you think that's true?
I've been reading about this, and here's the one thing you got to say about Austin. If he keeps talking about having one more match, he knows he's got one more left in him. Steve Austin is the last guy that's going to go out there and embarrass himself. So if Austin is saying that, I believe he's got one left in him.
I do too, but if there's one guy out there that takes his performance and the in-ring product very seriously,
right,
it's him. He's walked out more than a few times because he didn't feel like it was the right thing for his character to do, including wrestling your boy.
Yeah.
Like we went to wrestle on, I think it was Taboo Tuesday, and he just didn't show up, thought it was below him. Now, it might have been, but it's wrestling. And we made up since then, but never got that payday, Vince. Maddie says Cross was on WWE main event again versus Julio Del Toro. After the win, he saluted the camera, just being a good soldier. Coach, and bro times 2. Maddie brings up a good point. There is no universe, Vince, that Karrion Kross should be on main event when we've got some. I mean, what are they? It's screaming to me. TKO execs don't know what they have, and when his contract's up, he gone.
Yeah, because, Coach, they're not putting him in a very good position for when his contract does come up, and I think they're doing that purposely. I think they're absolutely doing that purposely.
I do too. I love this. I love this. He goes, speculation. I love when people come into the chat. They come to watch it. He goes, these two are has-beens. Okay. I'm never coming back. Yeah, you'll be here the next show. Don't even worry about it. Hey, chat, let this guy know all about it. We don't even have to handle that. They handle it for us. They really do. I love wrestling fans like that. Don't you?
Absolutely.
They stay here for an entire show, 60 minutes. Oh, I'm never coming back. Yes, you will. Yes, you will. We do have a couple more, I think, to get to. I think that might be it. Real quick, Vince, before we get out of here, we'll be here on Thursday. Our stadium show airs Wednesday at 11 p.m. Eastern time. Do you think by Thursday we're going to have – okay, let me ask you this way. On Thursday, are we saying that WWE is or is not going to Saudi Arabia?
God, Coach, with every fiber in my body, I want to say they're not going to. So they cannot be that stupid and that irresponsible. They can't be, Coach. They can't.
They can't.
No.
They can't be.
No.
We do have a super sticker.
Wow.
G. Holland. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Gilbert debut, Minister of Darkness debut. China gets number 30 in Royal Rumble. I just lost it for a second. By elimination, VKM via Stone Cold, plus much more. There was more storylines and action than the last 10 years of AEW and WWE combined. Very true.
Yes.
Very, very true.
Yes.
I don't know if we have producer man. Shake your head. Do you have the Alexa Bliss thing loaded up? Because I want Vince to
shooting a basket. She's shooting a basketball.
No.
Oh.
Give me a thumbs up, producer man. Do we have it? Okay, so Vince, you're going to lose your mind. All right, so she was at Fanatics Fest, okay? And they had entrances for different WWE superstars. We're going to show it, and I just want to watch your reaction to Alexa Bliss, her daughter, and the Wyatt 6 roll tape.
Oh, my gosh.
This is for dramatics. Lots of dramatics.
Wait a minute. That's
so cruel, isn't it?
Well, I did leave my son with his hand on his pee-pee. I mean, so
very. But Vince, when I watched that, the daughter was terrified. But what have we always said about the Wyatt 6 and using it correctly no matter where you do it at?
Right, exactly. Oh, please. I feel, man, after seeing that doc, I feel so bad for Bo Dallas. I really, because he really, really wanted to do something special for his brother. And this is not it. But wait till you read the comment about Tony Khan's secret woman, Coach. I'm going to let you comment on it.
So that's a small sticker from Adventures of Gen X. Is it Nyla Rose?
I'm not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole, Coach. I am not going anywhere near that, Coach.
So if you missed any of the show, on our next episode of the Coach and Bro Show, Vince is going to reveal what, Vince?
I am going to reveal what AEW female star has her sights set on billionaire Tony Khan.
and this is what I can't wait for, Vince, is that we'll be quoted, as we are every single week, by every single dirt sheet. And then all the fans who don't understand sarcasm, don't understand opinion, don't understand any of that, they're going to
Yes.
say, well, Vince said,
Yes.
and Coach said.
Yes.
I'm still getting tweets about, so, Coach, when are they going to redo Roman Reigns' contract of $15 million a year? You said it. You said it. I'm like, oh, my God, is it this easy to mess with them? Or are they really this dumb? And the websites, can you quote us correctly? If you're going to quote us, at least watch the whole segment.
Exactly.
That's all I ask. They're
Exactly.
so lazy. They'll have one person quote, then 8 others will say the same thing. And by the time it gets to the 9th one, we've reinvented wrestling.
And not only that, Coach, but they're as bad as the product. They do not understand sarcasm or comedy at all. At all.
Your boy called me a liar.
Yeah, I read that, and that really bothered me.
For about 2 seconds?
No, I don't like that. I don't like. You're my boy, Coach. You're my boy, Coach. I don't like that. I don't like that. You of all people, bro. I've said this all along. Can I just say this real quick, Coach?
Okay.
Coach, I can't even imagine lying over something wrestling related. Like I get called a liar so many times. I'm like, bro, lie over wrestling? Like, okay, lie over cheating on your wife, lie over killing somebody, lie over being a drug addict, lie over wrestling, Coach? Come on.
Which is why it doesn't bother me, because Vince, these people that we're talking about and your boys that just come for you every step of the way, this is their entire life.
Yeah.
And this is something that's fun. I've got 3 other gigs that I love. This is part of what I love. But if I had to live and die by wrestling takes, oh my God, I would literally put a fork in my eye.
I can't imagine.
That's what they do, because that's their business.
Yeah, and Coach, I got to tell you, I was very, very impressed because I was getting ready for some baseball. I think it was Friday night. PFL was all over that ESPN, bro. Yeah. That's my boy right there. Yes, all over ESPN, man.
Yeah, I'm very proud of that. And,
yes,
it's every time I'm on ESPN, which is a lot lately, because we do the PGA Tour on ESPN, PFL on ESPN. I'm super proud of it. And I always laugh, too, because then you got that random fan go, oh, Coach, you only lasted 11 years the first time at ESPN.
Hey,
and now I'm back on again. Oh, you only lasted.
Yeah, Coach, let me tell you something. I would take 11 hours on ESPN. All right, Coach? 11 hours I would take.
You know what I would love to do? Because we used to do this at the Fan Fest at WrestleMania. And this would really, and I'd say this, I've never had a fan in person insult me. Not one time, not ever. Right. We would set up where they could call matches with us.
Yeah.
And after they called like 3 minutes of a match, they'd get up and go, you see their face like, oh my God, I cannot believe how hard this is to do. I would love to do that for SportsCenter. I would love just to set it up and say, okay, you get to do 3 minutes of SportsCenter, highlights and on camera, go. And then let's see how many times you're going to insult anybody.
Yeah, you'll get the old Ralph Cramden hum.
That's exactly right.
Yes.
It's so funny when I think about people sitting at home and taking the time to insult people that they would cut off their left leg to do what they do.
Absolutely.
Which is what we do.
Absolutely.
So that's why it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. But my goodness, just relax a little bit. We're having fun.
That's
We're having
it.
fun.
Life's
Talking
too
about
short,
somebody
man.
signing a contract with WWE is not the end of the world.
Yes.
It's not.
Yeah.
Vince, great time today, buddy. Great.
Yes, Coach. Thank you very much. Producer man, great job. And Tony, listen, the tickets are on me. I don't know what else I got to do. I got a connection, bro. I'll get us good seats right behind the dugout, Tony. You got to make this happen for me, man.
And with that, we say goodbye. For my man, Vince Russo, producer man behind the scenes, I'm the coach. We'll see you next time. God, this is fun. This is the Coach and Bro Show twice a week and on Wednesday nights on Stadium. Take care.